Everyone, it's Valerie from Waking Up in Wonder, and I'm going to do a little bit of an informal video for y'all today because I'm nervous. I'm going to be talking about something I am far from an expert in, and I don't want to have to do a million takes to try to get it perfect, so bear with me. And I made some notes for myself over here, so I may be glancing over there to make sure that I'm saying the right words. So I was inspired to talk about the ideas around forgiveness and how that connects to the Jewish High Holy Days, and particularly Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. I go to the Unitarian Universalist Church here in Nashville, and what I love about the UU is that it's welcoming for people from any belief, and just really focusing on what the commonalities are among all of us versus the differences, and allowing each person to be on their individual path and search for truth and meaning. So one of the nice things about it is that they will bring in messages and stories and rituals and traditions from many different religions. And with the High Holy Days approaching, the focus of forgiveness as this month's theme really aligns with Yom Kippur. And the choir, which I'm in the choir, sang a really beautiful rendition of Kol Nidre. Kol Nidre is a traditional Aramaic prayer that begins the evening service right before Yom Kippur. And our particular arrangement was on piano, cello, the 4-part chorus, and a really gorgeous tenor solo. I'm going to include in the blog post, along with this video, a link to a really awesome Kol Nidre recording so you can hear it. It's really a magical piece of music and prayer. So I definitely recommend checking that out. I got chills just kind of being a part of that music this morning. Another thing that we did that I really found inspirational was we kind of modified the Jewish practice of Tashlich, which translates to casting off. And it's part of the High Holy Days in which the previous year's sins are symbolically cast off into a body of water. So the way that we kind of modified that ritual in our congregation, we each took a stone and spent some time meditating with it, and then we were, on basically on what we needed to forgive ourselves for from the past year, what we want to let go of. And then we were invited to either keep the stone if we needed more time to meditate on it and then to take it to a body of water to cast it off, or we could bring it up to the front of the congregation, kind of the altar area, and put it in a large bowl of water. And it was really powerful, and I saw a lot of people really having a lot of emotion with it, which, that in and of itself can be powerful to be a part of and to witness what that means for people to really let go of and forgive themselves. So I definitely recommend thinking about, if there is something that you want to forgive yourself for. At this time of year, there's just a lot of that in the air, of turning over and the new season and the leaves falling, and it's just really a good time to be thinking about that. So I also wanted to share the reading that was done in the service today because I loved it, and it really made me want to buy this book by Richard Rohr, which is called The Art of Letting Go. And Richard Rohr is a Franciscan priest. He is a teacher of Christian mysticism and a prolific writer. So the reading is a few paragraphs, so hang in there with me, but if you want to listen to the whole thing, it's really inspirational. And I will be reading it, so I will not be looking at the camera. Perhaps the most difficult forgiveness, the greatest letting go, is to forgive ourselves for doing it wrong. We need to realize that we are not perfect and we are not innocent. If I want to maintain an image of myself as innocent, superior, or righteous, I can only do so at the cost of truth. I would have to reject the mysterious side, the shadow side, the broken side, the unconscious side of almost everything. We have for too long confused holiness with innocence, whereas holiness is actually mistakes overcome and transformed, not necessarily mistakes avoided. Letting go is different than denying or repressing. To let go of it, you have to admit it. You have to own it. Letting go is different than turning it against yourself. Letting go is different than projecting it onto others. Letting go means that the denied, repressed, rejected parts of myself are seen for what they are. You refuse to let the negative storyline that you've wrapped around yourself define your life. This is a very different way of living. It implies that you see your mistakes, your dark side, and you don't split from it. You don't pretend it's not true. You go to the place that has been called the gift of tears. Weeping is a word to describe that inner attitude where I can't fix it, I can't explain it, I can't control it, I can't even understand it. I can only forgive it, weep over it, and let go of it. Grieving reality is different than hating it. Letting go of our cherished images of ourselves is really the way to heaven, because when you fall down to the bottom, you fall on solid ground, the great foundation. It looks like an abyss, but it's actually a foundation. On that foundation, you have nothing to prove, nothing to protect. I loved that reading, and it really just made me think a lot about that idea of our shadow side, and that we have to, before we can forgive ourselves for our faults and for our mistakes, we have to take ownership of them. We can't be in denial of them or repress them or wish that they didn't exist or pretend they didn't exist. So I just want to leave you with that thought, something to possibly meditate on or journal about in your week. Thanks for watching.